Hey, everybody.
I'm Sean.
Kelly.
Okay, what's our hook for today?
The hook today is my favorite thing about real estate.
That's
My
right.
favorite thing about real estate.
So today we're going to talk about 6 updates that people do to their houses, 6 updates that sellers do to their houses, and whether it adds value, and if it does add value, what type of value it actually adds.
Yeah, there are 3 main types of value, right? And it doesn't include the cat messing with the copier.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there are 3 types of value. You want to go through those?
Yes, we have dollar value.
Yes.
We have appeal.
Yes. So like cosmetic.
Cosmetic.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
like how bad do you make them want it?
Yep.
And then finally, confidence.
Okay. So things like a strong foundation or
Roofing,
something where the house is
structural
actually good.
stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I guess roof could be.
Yeah, we'll go into that. Yeah. Okay, so our baseline of what we're talking about, we want to give the term after repair value. And what after repair value is, it's what investors use when, let's say they buy a house and they fix it up and they flip it. So they get it up to the best standards for that home. That's an after repair value.
Or ARV. You may have
ARV.
seen or heard of ARV.
Exactly.
That's what that is.
Exactly. So we're going to use, as we go through this, your house, if we had a perfect duplication of your house and it was completely updated, all the bells and whistles, the value of that home is the standard.
Yeah,
that
like
would
if you
work
did
on.
everything right.
Yep, and so we're assuming that your house is not at the value of that home because you're wanting to do updates. So we're gonna go from there. All right, so what's the first item?
First, we have improvements. I don't know why you've done it like
Improvements
this.
colon. Improvements colon.
Oh. Sorry. I just, sometimes our brains see things differently. Okay, how about an improvement?
What's our first
such
improvement?
as
Yes.
freshly painted. You've freshly painted
Yes.
the whole house.
Yes.
Let's just
Okay.
say.
What kind of value does that add? Does it add dollars?
It can.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you do to not make it add dollars?
Like, how would I paint it?
Yeah. Like we painted our first townhouse.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. It was like living in a flower.
Yes. So
it was the 90s.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was.
It doesn't.
Anyway, so it needs to.
Doesn't matter.
2000. You need to paint your house with the current trends to
Yeah.
appeal to the masses. You may have a beautifully painted home with fantastic colors that you love, and it feels all warm.
Can I make a note here? I know everybody thinks they still need to do gray.
Okay. Anyway,
That's all
so
I'm gonna say.
yeah, so paint it appropriately.
Yeah.
And what we do with our sellers is we have a staging company come in. They actually go through and they tell you what colors to paint. They give you the actual name of the paint, and then so we get you make sure you're on trend if you're making changes to your house.
Yeah, don't just take our word for it.
Yeah, don't just take our word for it, but Kelly will always confirm. Okay, so paint, yes, as long as you do it with the trend and with what is going to appeal to the masses. All right.
Yes.
All right. What's the next one?
Add a bedroom or a bathroom. Cha-ching, baby.
Yeah,
that adds everything.
That can actually take you, if you have the ARV, that can actually take you above the ARV because now you've added more function to the house, more appeal to the house, and it's got those bedrooms actually carry value.
Yeah, because your comps are all different.
Yep.
Right?
So you can take a house that you don't have, let's say it's a 3-bedroom house and it's got a large living room. You can take some of that large living room and turn it into a 4-bedroom house. You just up the value of that house without increasing square footage.
That's the truth, baby.
That's the truth, yep.
Okay, adding square footage goes into that, but let's pretend you didn't add a bedroom or bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can use the square footage to make a bedroom or bathroom, but this we're talking about not necessarily making any more rooms, we're just adding on.
You just wanted to make your living room bigger, okay?
Yeah.
So would that actually add, we've got a cat down here playing. So let's say you just made your living room bigger, would that additional square footage necessarily increase the value of the house? It could, but it's not gonna be as sure, and it's not going to be as certain as if you added a bedroom.
It might add appeal value, but not necessarily the
dollar value,
the paper value.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do the next one, or I'll mention the next one. What are we on? Oh, okay. So this is an important one. This is what a lot of people. That's right. Okay. Roof. Putting a new roof on the house. Putting a new HVAC system in the house, or putting new windows in the house. Do those add dollar value? Do they add appeal or cosmetic value, or do they add confidence?
Okay. Confidence for sure for
Confidence
all of them.
for sure.
The
yes.
roof can go into appeal too. For example, we put this stunning black metal roof on our house, and all the neighbors love it.
Yeah.
So that added
Yeah.
the appeal and dollar.
Yeah. Okay.
Topic,
So the
yeah.
roof. Okay, the roof. If you have an asphalt shingle roof and the comp, the ARV house has an asphalt shingle roof, and your roof is functional, you replace it, it's not going to do anything for you. If it's leaking, it's going to give confidence and it's going to not cause your house value to come down, but it's not going to raise the value. If you put a metal roof on that has a 100-year lifespan, that is going to increase value.
Right.
HVAC, if you replace it, it's not going to add dollar value. But if you put another HVAC system in and add a zone, that could increase dollar value.
Very much.
So you like for like, it's not going to increase
Yeah.
dollar value. So you don't necessarily need to do those things unless they're a problem before you put it on. Update kitchen and bathrooms.
Updating. We're not
Yes.
talking about a total reno or anything like that,
No,
right?
just-
We're
yeah.
talking about an update.
Yeah, maybe some countertops, the cabinets, things like
Yeah.
that. That's going to increase it's going to increase, maybe not confidence, but it's going to increase the appeal, certainly.
Yeah.
And it will increase dollar value. It'll get you closer to the ARV, but
Yeah.
it will not take you above the ARV. If you do some spectacular,
Please don't do spectacular backsplashes. Let's just keep it
keep it simple.
classic,
Yeah,
beautiful,
and a lot of
and
times
not trendy.
new buyers will come in. The reason these won't take you above that ARV is because new buyers will come in and a lot of times they're going to change it because they're going to go with what they like. So,
Right, true that.
all right.
Okay,
and
updating the flooring.
Yeah.
Gosh, am I just that opinionated? I have a whole lot to say about this. Oh,
Okay, go for it. I know you love this one.
No, it's okay. Just don't mix and match woods
Yeah.
or tiles, right? I mean, you can do wood, you can do tile, and you can do carpet where it's appropriate. Please, please, oh please don't mix your woods up.
Yeah. So in other words, don't do like a gray wood with a brown wood or with just
Don't do it.
have everything flow.
Have it flow.
Yeah. But that will increase value up to the ARV. It's not going to take you above the ARV. The only thing that's going to take you above the ARV,
Is
realistically,
adding your bedroom, bathroom, adding square footage.
adding a roof that has more life, adding a zone
Right.
for HVAC, or if you price the property appropriately and the market demands it, you get into a bidding war.
Okay,
so
let's
that's the other way.
let's throw things on here that haven't been here.
Okay.
That, I was gonna politely wait for you to ask, but I'm
Well,
like,
it's-
I'm chopping at the bit. Okay, landscaping.
Yes. I had that on there and I erased
You
it.
did. You should have erased that.
I'm sorry. Okay, landscaping. Go
Props,
ahead,
bro.
please.
Landscaping. This is important. Now, if it's not ugly, leave it alone.
Yep.
Leave it alone. Let them do their own thing or not even notice that anything needs to be done. If it's ugly or weedy, you gotta at least get it out there or out of there.
Out of there. Yeah.
Yes, out of there.
Yep.
Um,
But you got to get
really
that.
know much
You have to get
about
that curb
landscape.
appeal. That's the first opinion.
do have to
So
get
that,
the curb appeal.
That has to matter.
So
Yeah.
front door, roof, landscaping,
Yeah.
that's your curb appeal.
Pressure wash the house.
Don't have janky.
Door
door handles.
Oh, okay, door handles. I thought you were going to go into the
We have to
shutters.
fix our door handles. Even though it's
All
not
right.
fancy.
Yeah. So things that make that appeal
Yeah.
because you don't necessarily increase value with appeal, but you increase the desire for the home. So freshly painted home. That will add appeal. It will add dollar value, but it will not take you above the after repair value. Add a bedroom, bathroom. It's going to add all of them except for confidence, but it will take you above the after repair value. Square footage, same thing as long it may or may not add after repair value, but it could add to appeal because it feels like a bigger home. New roof, HVAC windows, that's all confidence unless you upgrade. Update kitchen and bathroom is going to add dollar value and appeal. Update flooring, dollar value and appeal as long as those things are done well. Okay, let's get to the numbers.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
I love that.
I love you too. I mean, I love that
I
too.
also love you.
All right, so it's time to dive into the numbers and see what went on this last 7 days. I want to kind of preface it with a little bit of information here. So based on the movement of the market and the activity level of the market, for a second week in a row, we are in a slight bit of a buyer's market, which presents buyers with a little bit of an opportunity. Now, what this opportunity means is not that you can go out and get a $500,000 house for $400,000. You're not going to get a discount on properties, but what it does mean is that you may not have to pay $525,000 for that $500,000 house. Properties right now, they're still getting multiple offers, but they're the well-priced ones or the slightly underpriced properties are still getting multiple offers. and going quickly, but they're getting 2 to 3 offers. They're not getting 5 to 10 or 20 like they were in the past couple years. So basically, it's a chance for you to go out there and look at what's in the market and get a chance to get that property, and then possibly be the only one bidding on it in the beginning, and maybe able to get your inspection contingency and your appraisal contingency and so on. So the opportunities are very property specific. Again, if a property is in great condition and it's priced very well, there's still competition for it. But in general, a buyer has the opportunity to kind of be able to breathe a little bit while they're putting offers in right now. So keep your expectations realistic. Don't go out there and try to get a deal, because we're not in that kind of a buyer's market. It's like we just dipped a little bit. We're actually in somewhat of a normal market. Now, the key to this is, as we look at this, I'm going to look at it historically as well, is that this is a window, and how long this window will last, we don't know, because interest rates could start to come down. And when interest rates start to come down, all these buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines for the last couple of years are going to come back into the market. And when they do, you're going to get that multiple offer situation, and it's going to turn into that chaos again. So take advantage of this right now. We had another period that I'm going to show you on this graph where I was telling people, you've got an opportunity here. A lot of people didn't take advantage of it. They missed it. So now's the opportunity again. So stop trying to time the market. It's time in the market. Go ahead and get a property, and then let the natural course of appreciation take advantage, or help you move forward with the value of that property. Okay, so let's dive into this real quick, and just to give you an example of what I mean by kind of looking at this with time in the market versus timing the market. We have some buyers, we have several buyers that have looked off and on for a couple of years, but we have a great example of some buyers that have been looking since October. And they've been trying to find that deal, been trying to, they've gotten close on several properties. They've missed by 5,000 here, by 10,000 there. They would not, go to where they needed to go to get the property. Well, over time, these properties have continued to appreciate. And as they've appreciated, even if they only, so let's say we're looking at a $500,000 property, and let's say it's only going to appreciate 3% this year, which is your average appreciation. So that's a $15,000 appreciation for the year. So they've been looking since October. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So about 8 months. So we'll say about, we'll make it, we'll cut it in, around 5,000. Okay, so they had 5,000 in appreciation on that property, and then they've also been paying rent, and they've been paying rent for about 2 years, for that 8 months. So that's another 16,000. So that's $21,000 in lost value while trying to save $5,000 here and $10,000 there. So you have to think about this from those perspectives. So right now, while there's an opportunity in the market, go in there and take advantage of it, get in the market, and then stop worrying about trying to get in if it's going to bottom out, which I'm going to go over some recession numbers here for you, because a lot of people are concerned about an upcoming recession. And I'm going to show you that there's no historical validity to a recession causing prices to come down. Okay, so we're going to dive into all that. All right, so let's go in here and look at the numbers. Our orange line is our buyer activity line. Our blue line is our inventory, and you can see the inventory did go up a little bit this week. Buyer activity also increased this week. So we had a gap right here, which put us into the buyer's market last week, and it's pretty much the same right now. So if you go over here to the buyer's market versus seller's market, anything under this orange line is considered a buyer's market. Again, this is more of a normal market versus a strong buyer's market. All right, so if you looking at that, now if you go back over to this part of the graph over here, this is from last year. So point number 4 is where we are today. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, I gotta get my marker working. Right here is where we were this time last year. And then on that's the inventory, and then the buyer's market, we were right about here, I believe. It's hard to tell because that was pretty much a straight line there. So what this tells us is, number one, this was the activity level last year. This was right when the interest rates had just started changing. We were about 6 weeks into it, maybe 2 months into it. And if you look over here, this year, we're only slightly below as far as activity is concerned. So here's our inventory and our buyer activity. So you can see we're a little bit low, but it's not significantly lower. But then next week, what we'll probably end up seeing because of the Memorial Day weekend, we're probably going to see a dip that's going to happen here. And so that puts us over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're here. So if we mimic last year, we're going to have a period where we're going to kind of be in a normal market. The challenge with this is when you see this right here, this is the summer season. This was kind of artificially suppressed because they were raising the interest rates. Now the interest rates, people have kind of gotten used to it, and we don't have that shock of the change. There's no guarantee that that we're going to stay at this level, especially if the interest rates start coming down. I got an advertisement from a builder. They're offering 4.99% interest rate on ready to move in homes. So their interest rates are starting to move in that direction. And once they hit a certain point, like I said, all those buyers are going to flood the market. Inventory is going to start picking up a little bit because sellers are going to be willing to leave to move out of their property. And we're going to see an activity increase. So right now we're in this neutral market. How long we're going to stay there, we don't know that. So take advantage of it while you're here. We did last winter, and again, this was after the interest rates. We got into a little bit of a buyer's market here, but even here, there weren't huge discounts happening. Prices did not come down. They just kind of flattened off. And it was only for a period of about 6 weeks, and then we started moving right back into the seller's market. So I really advise, if you are planning on purchasing a home and you're trying to time the market and you're waiting for this recession to hit so prices will come down, you're just going to end up sitting back on the market again, or sitting back and missing opportunities. And because there's a lot of other people that have that same mindset. So the best time for a buyer to buy is when buyers aren't buying, when it's not flooded with a market. Don't follow the herd, go against the herd. Okay, so that's the mindset on that. Now let's talk about the recession statistics. Let me see if I can pull this in where you guys can see this. Okay, so this is a chart that I go over when I do our monthly market reports. And this primary purpose of this chart is to show interest rates and how they really don't have a whole lot of an effect on appreciation. But what I did is I went through, and you can see there are these purple lines here. These are recessions that came through. I did some research on years of recessions, and these are the years of those recessions. And you can see when there was a recession, prices, this orange line here is our prices. So during the recession of the 80s, even when the interest rates were like this, prices still in general went up. Early 1990s, when there was another recession, prices either went up or flattened. There was no drop in prices. 2000, same thing. Interest rates, our median house prices continued to go up. 2000, this is the housing bubble crash. So this one we did see a price drop, but what was unique about this recession versus all the other recessions is this one was caused by the housing market, by all the subprime lending. And then they passed a bunch of laws, Dodd-Frank, so they repaired all this. So all these houses that have sold in this area here, these are all well-qualified loans. There's a lot of equity in these properties because of all the appreciation that's happened over the last several years. So sellers, if a seller gets in trouble and is facing foreclosure, all they have to do is turn around and sell the house because they've got the appreciation and they've got the space in it. So they're not going to lose all the money that they had to put into it. They're just going to sell the house. Because this was driven by foreclosures. This was driven by just the housing bubble crash. So we had a little bit of a recession in 2020 when COVID hit, and you can see what prices did there. So everybody, not everybody, but we have several buyers that are kind of afraid of an upcoming recession because of everything that's going on with the economy and so on and so forth, but there's no evidence historically that a recession is going to cause prices to come down. So again, it's a matter of if you're trying to time the market, you may end up missing out again. All right, so if you want to talk about your situation specifically, we can have a conversation, see if it makes sense for you to come into the market now. Sellers, it's a fantastic time to sell. Yes, there is a little more competition out there with the sellers, but you still have the ability to capitalize on all this appreciation that's happened over the last 3 years. And there are buyers out there, and there are serious buyers out there. Okay, please make sure to click the notifications and subscribe to our channel, and feel free to share this market report with anybody that you care about so that we can get it out to a wider audience. All right, we'll see you on next week's video. Have a great week.